The design of this has nothing to do with fair districts or prevent gerrymander or anything like that. It's how do we elect more Democrats and more liberal Democrats. That is what these folks are paying for. And you don't get what you want by arguing your case and say we lie. You just keep spending the money and keep saying the same thing.
Wherever that money comes from.
Yeah,
right?
Well, from a Swiss billionaire, among other people. So they're just going to kind of keep repeating the same things over and over. We're going to have this great discussion over the next few months. And I don't think that Maureen O'Connor will explain why she sat on this decision for 4 months till just before the filing deadline in 2022. Hopefully some engaging reporter from the Associated Press will ask her that. I doubt it, but we'll see. And but we're going to have this discussion. If it passed, I think, and they get the right people, which almost assuredly will be university professors who profess to be independent, to draw these maps, it'll really result in two things. One is that Republicans will still control the legislature, but there will be fewer African American Democrat legislators, because what they would like to do is have less compact districts, even though they've argued other way, have less compact districts and take inner cities and stretch them out to the suburbs so that they can spread out the number of Democrat voters. That's what they would like to do. That's what their maps that they professed before. The one that former Representative Kathleen Clyde submitted had a district that went from downtown Cincinnati to Ada, Ohio, home of Ohio Northern University. So those are the kind of maps they're looking for, because those are the ones that can elect the people they want in office, which, by the way, John, is the definition of gerrymandering. The restrictions that we have now that were approved by over 70% of the voters, the sets of incentives and penalties that are built in for both parties, when allowed to work, unlike when they were blocked by Maureen O'Connor in 2022, but when allowed to work, voila, we have a 8-year map with a unanimous vote.
And compact districts reflecting communities of interest.
Right. This map has the fewest divided communities of any map in the history of the state of Ohio.
Yeah, don't you want to keep the city of Cincinnati together?
Yeah, or you can cut Cincinnati in half and have downtown Cincinnati lined up with Ada, Ohio, in Hardin County. So, I mean, the hypocrisy of this is extraordinary. And of course, nobody's going to want to explain that. There isn't going to be an AP story talking about what you just talked about. They're going to say it's gerrymandering. We need a better process. Right. And that's what goes on the news headline. That's what goes in the mailer. That's what's going to pop up on your social feed. People should know, and I think most people do, is that we addressed this issue in 2015 regarding the General Assembly and 2018 regarding congressional races. And both Republican and Democratic Party agreed on this system of incentives and penalties. And it passed by over 70% of the vote in both cases. In 2023, we used this system. And we drew new maps for the General Assembly, and in fact, it was a unanimous bipartisan vote. Now, I'm not sure if there's any place in the United States of America or in the world where you can take a contentious political issue like redistricting and get a public vote where all parties agree, both parties. The system worked. Now, it didn't work in 2021 because 4 justices on the Supreme Court tried to legislate their version into the decision, and the redistricting panel, a legislative body, said, we're not going to do that. And there was really, in my mind, a real attempt at abuse of power on the part of the court at that time, which the commission wouldn't stand for. So we're now at a place in time where the voters have spoken, the system has worked, and the people who are funding this out of state and outside the United States are now saying it's not the politics that we want. And so we're going to put a new issue on the ballot. If that passes, you'll have the same thing that you have in Michigan, which is a federal court saying that's unconstitutional, the districts that you're drawing. And we've been having this discussion for at least 2 decades that I know of. And if we go to change it again, everybody should know what they're getting.